Part of the question, by the way, and part of the whole point of the discussion at all, is to recognize that we are not just somehow fated to violence. Violence is not in God. It's not just the will of God. It's not just in the universe. It's not up in the sky or in the air or something like that. Nor is it just in human nature that we can't stop ourselves. There's something that we can do about this, and all of the traditions, not just the Abrahamic ones, but all of the authentic religious traditions are telling us this all the time. So let's go to the second question now. What are some misconceptions about your tradition concerning violence? And Pastor Paula, yes, I did ask you, aware that you're a Mennonite. But I asked you because it's the Mennonites who are saying the thing that is the gospel tradition, okay? So a lot of other traditions, they'll talk about some other things like just war theory and so on, and it's the Mennonites who are saying, actually, it's what Jesus said, okay? So that's what the unique thing that we Christians need to bring to this conversation, and I knew that she would bring that, so that's why I asked her to do that. So what are some misconceptions about your tradition concerning violence? Maybe I just answered your question. Could we start with Imam Waheed, please?
I have a feeling that I was asked to be first, even though alphabetical order didn't go that way, because it is the religion of Islam that faces this question more so than Judaism or Mennonite Christianity. Yeah. So, logical, even though not in alphabetical order. So yes, the biggest misconception is that the religion of Islam is inherently violent. And this misconception is promoted by different voices within the mass media, in the world of politics and entertainment. So I want to play the role of psychic and look into the crystal ball and read people's minds and sort of address what people are already thinking but don't want to say. You know, there's a word called J-word. J-word. Jihad. The J-word. Now, jihad is an Arabic word, is a verbal noun that means struggle. Jihad does not mean holy war. It does not mean holy war. It only means struggle. And it is used in the Quran, and is used in the statements of the Prophet Muhammad. It's there. It's used in war contexts, but also used in non-war contexts. One verse of the Quran which is relevant to this discussion, you have to forgive me, I have to say this in Arabic. Don't worry, I'm not putting a spell on you. It says, فَلَا تُطِعِ الْكَافِرِينَ وَجَاهِدْهُمْ بِهِ جِهَادًا كَبِيرًا. It says, do not listen or do not obey those who reject. Rather, make jihad against them. Oh, sounds very, very radical here. Make jihad against them with it. وَجَاهِدْهُمْ بِهِ جِهَادًا كَبِيرًا. Make jihad against them with it, and it is a mighty jihad, indeed. So what's that saying? Does that mean you take a book and you hit somebody upside the head up with it? No. It doesn't mean that at all. That verse is in chapter 25, verse 52 of the Quran. That verse refers to the Quran itself. وَجَاهِدْهُمْ بِهِ جِهَادًا كَبِيرًا. Make jihad with the Quran. You don't use your swords or your guns in dealing with the issue of unbelief or disbelief. Meaning to use the text, to use the arguments, the logic that is given in the revelation that God gives. وَجَاهِدْهُمْ بِهِ جِهَادًا كَبِيرًا. And by the way I explain this verse, there is no disagreement at all as to the meaning of that verse. The most conservative voices, the most conservative scholars will explain that verse the same way that I have explained that verse. Chapter 25, verse 52. Continuing on jihad. In another place, chapter 31, verse 15.